Sigurd the Raider gazes at the stormy horizon, the prow of his dragon-headed longship cutting through the rough North Sea as his crew chants ominously. Edric the Saxon sharpens his sword at the edge of his village, the sound of approaching thunder heightening his worry. Freydis the Shield Maiden checks her sword and shield, fire in her eyes as the Danish warriors ready themselves for landfall. Aelfwin the villager gathers herbs near the forest's edge when the distant shape of ships halts her in fear. The longships surge onto the pebbled shore, warriors leaping into the surf with roars that chill the English hearts. Edric organizes the panicking villagers, urging them to prepare defenses while bells ring out an alarm. Aelfwin rushes back, clutching her herbs, breathless and wild-eyed, as she warns others of the encroaching danger. Sigurd directs his warriors, pointing his ornate axe skyward, as men shout and surge toward the village. Freydis sprints ahead of the raiders, leading with raw speed and determination, shield braced for first contact. The villagers scramble to form a ragged defense at the palisade, clutching old spears and farm tools under Adric's command. Aelfwin helps shepherd children and elders to a hidden grove, her heart pounding with every shout from the shore. The Vikings crash into the palisade with savage force, splintering timbers, and the clash of iron rings out. Sigurd carves through defenders, his axe flashing in the chaos, his battle cry leading the charge. Freydis faces an Anglo-Saxon warrior in single combat, their blades ringing as sparks fly. Edric is knocked back but regains his footing, rallying a handful of brave souls to hold the line. Aelfwin tends a wounded elder in the grove, hands shaking as distant screams echo through the trees. Vikings break through, and anxious villagers flee as flames begin to lick at their thatched roofs. Sigurd calls his warriors to regroup, eyeing the Saxon defenders' retreat and weighing their next move. Freydis searches homes for survivors, determined to prove her worth among the battle-hardened raiders. Edric takes a wounded blow, grits his teeth, and swears to protect those left behind at any cost. Aelfwin covers her group as the fighting inches closer, eyes desperately searching for a path to safety. Sigurd orders his men to search the woods for hidden Saxons, eager for plunder and captives. Freydis catches sight of villagers fleeing into the woods and signals the others, pressing the pursuit. Edric signals to Aelfwin, urging her and her group to slip deeper into the forest, away from the raiders. Aelfwin leads villagers through a mass of brambles, tearing her dress as she clears a hidden animal path. Sigurd interrogates a captured villager, demanding to know where the Saxons have hidden their supplies. Freydis confides in a fellow raider, expressing her hunger for respect among Sigurd's warriors. Edric pauses beside a stream to let wounded villagers drink, his guard never wavering despite exhaustion. Aelfwin listens to the horror in her companion's whispers, vowing not to give in to despair as the night grows darker. Sigurd surveys the ruined village by torchlight, his mind already turning to the next conquest. Freydis takes charge of guarding prisoners, treating them with a stern but not cruel hand. Edric helps conceal the injured under a camouflaged shelter, instructing survivors to keep silent as raiders pass nearby. Aelfwin hears ominous footsteps and muffled voices, her own trembling breath the only sound in her ears. At dawn, heavy rain soaks the smoking village as Sigurd surveys the Viking encampment, eyeing a distant hill where Anglo-Saxon banners flutter. He contemplates his next raid. Freydis inspects the injured among the prisoners, showing unexpected mercy, but she keeps her sword drawn, eyes ever wary for deception from her captives. Deep in the forest, Aelfwin hushes frightened children and signals to a hidden group of villagers to keep moving despite their exhaustion. Edric, wounded but resolute, directs his injured men to a camouflaged clearing, laying them on beds of ferns and distributing the meager stock of herbs and bandages. Sigurd rises at dawn, his silhouette looming against the smoke remnants of the village, strategizing the next move toward the Anglo-Saxon banners fluttering nearby. Freydis, wary yet compassionate, tends to wounded Anglo-Saxon prisoners, carefully binding wounds as suspicious Vikings keep watch. Aelfwin leads frightened children and elders deeper into the misty forest, keeping them quiet and listening for danger. Edric, despite his wound, reassures his injured men in a secluded woodland hollow, handing out the last of their bread and water.